Have you ever felt stuck? Like no matter how hard you try, your goals remain just out of reach? Maybe you've given up thinking this is impossible for me. Today we are going to explore how you can push yourself beyond limits so you realize that nothing is truly impossible when you persist with purpose. Imagine a young person standing at the base of a huge mountain. They look up and think, I could never climb that. Every muscle aches, every step feels impossible. That mountain is not just stone and snow, it is life itself with its challenges, failures, and doubts. Now imagine someone else facing the same mountain, but they start anyway, step by step, sometimes slipping, sometimes resting, but never stopping. And eventually, they reach the top. The difference is not talent or luck. The difference is the decision to push, to refuse to settle for limits, and to believe that everything is possible when you persist. Today, we will explore how you can push yourself until everything is possible. By the end of this, you will understand that your impossible is only temporary and your potential is waiting for you to reach it. Every person in this world has faced a moment where they felt limited, as if the walls of life were closing in and nothing they did could change their circumstances. These moments are not defined by the external world. They're defined by the mind. The mind has a remarkable power. It can either become the cage that holds you back or the wings that let you soar. Most people underestimate this simple truth. They look at someone else achieving greatness and think they are just luckier, smarter, or born with more opportunities. But the real difference lies not in circumstances, but in mindset. Think about the stories of great achievers. They often started with nothing, yet they dared to believe in the possibility of something more. That belief, persistent and unwavering, shaped their actions. A mindset that says, I can do this, changes the way you respond to obstacles. Every challenge becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes a stepping stone. And every criticism becomes fuel. On the other hand, a mindset that says, I cannot, creates invisible walls. You start avoiding challenges, hesitating to take risks, and slowly, life itself begins to feel like a series of limitations rather than opportunities. Our beliefs about ourselves are like lenses through which we see the world. If the lens is fogged with doubt, fear, and insecurity, even the clearest path appears blurry and unattainable. But if the lens is polished with self-belief, faith, and determination, obstacles shrink, possibilities expand, and the impossible begins to look achievable. Changing your mindset is not about pretending that difficulties don't exist. It is about cultivating the courage to face them with clarity and confidence. It is also essential to understand that mindsets are not fixed. Just because you have believed in limitations until now does not mean you are condemned to a life of mediocrity. With conscious effort, reflection, and practice, you can retrain your mind. You can replace I can't with I will try, I am not good enough with I am learning and improving, and this is impossible with what is the first step I can take. The mind responds to action. Every time you take a step despite fear or self-doubt, your mind begins to trust your capability. Slowly, what once seemed impossible becomes a reality you can touch, feel, and live. Stories from everyday life remind us of this truth. A student who believed they were bad at studies but committed to learning a little every day eventually aced exams they once thought were beyond them. An employee who thought they could never lead a team started by helping colleagues, building trust, and gradually stepped into leadership roles. These are not extraordinary people. They are ordinary individuals who chose to challenge their inner limitations and reframe their mindset. Your mindsets define your possibilities because they are the lens through which you perceive, respond to, and create your reality. Every thought, belief, and inner conversation either pushes you forward or holds you back, and the first step toward achieving anything extraordinary in life is understanding this power and taking responsibility for it. Most people look for instant results. We live in a world of shortcuts and quick fixes, where patience is undervalued and consistency is underrated. But real change, the kind that transforms your life, does not happen overnight. It is the small, consistent efforts repeated every day that compound into extraordinary results. Imagine planting a tiny seed. You water it, nourish it, and give it sunlight. The first day, the second day, even the first month, you see nothing. Many people would give up at this stage. But if you continue faithfully, over time, that small seed grows into a mighty tree. The tree did not appear overnight. It grew slowly, steadily, quietly, until it became something enormous. Life works in the same way. A few minutes of learning, practice, or effort each day may seem insignificant. But over months and years, it becomes a powerful force. Think of an athlete training for years, not winning medals immediately, but gradually improving strength, skill, and endurance. Think of a writer who writes a page every day, eventually producing a masterpiece. These small efforts, repeated with discipline, are the true engine of success. The challenge is human nature itself. We often overestimate what we can achieve in a single day and underestimate what we can accomplish over months and years. Consistency is invisible in the short term, but it is unstoppable in the long term. The beauty of small, consistent efforts is that they build confidence and momentum. Each step forward, no matter how tiny, reinforces the belief that progress is possible. You learn to trust yourself, your actions, and your ability to grow. And the more consistent you are, the more habits form, the more momentum builds, and suddenly what seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Life does not require perfection, it requires persistence. Those who push themselves with small, deliberate actions every day eventually discover that massive change is the natural outcome of tiny efforts sustained over time. One of the most important truths about progress is that discomfort is a necessary companion on the journey to success. Our instinct is to avoid pain, challenge, and difficulty. We seek comfort because it feels safe, familiar, and predictable. But comfort is also the enemy of growth. Every moment you feel uneasy, challenged, or uncertain is a signal that you're moving beyond your current limits. If growth were easy, everyone would achieve greatness. The truth is, life rewards those who can endure discomfort, who can push themselves when every instinct tells them to quit. Think of the times you learned something truly valuable. It was probably difficult at first. The first few steps were awkward, mistakes were frequent, and you questioned yourself constantly. That is the very moment that shapes your future. Discomfort stretches your abilities, reshapes your mindset, and prepares you for challenges you have not yet imagined. It is a sign that you are expanding your potential. Avoiding discomfort, on the other hand, keeps you trapped in the same patterns, the same limitations, and the same version of yourself. Embracing discomfort does not mean seeking unnecessary suffering. It means learning to lean into challenges rather than away from them. It means understanding that temporary pain, effort, and struggle are the investments that yield lasting growth, confidence, and achievement. Every successful person has a story of moments when they felt uncomfortable, uncertain, and fearful, and yet they persisted. Discomfort is not a warning to stop. It is a signal that you are on the right path, moving closer to becoming the person you are capable of becoming. Failure is one of the most misunderstood elements of success. Many see it as a sign of inadequacy, a permanent mark of limitation, or proof that their dreams are unreachable. But failure is not the end of the road, it is feedback. Every failure teaches something that success cannot. It reveals weaknesses, uncovers assumptions, and provides a roadmap for improvement. Think about inventors, entrepreneurs, and achievers throughout history. Their failures were not setbacks, they were stepping stones. Each failed attempt brought them closer to the breakthrough they were seeking. The fear of failure is what holds most people back. They hesitate, postpone, or avoid action altogether because they dread the possibility of falling short. But every time you try and fail, you learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Failure also cultivates resilience. It teaches patience, humility, and perseverance. When you understand that failure is not final but a necessary part of the journey, you begin to take risks, push boundaries, and pursue challenges that once seemed impossible. Failure is the teacher that nobody wants, but everyone needs. It is a signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, testing your limits, and striving for something meaningful. If you can reframe failure as a natural, essential, and valuable part of growth, you will no longer be paralyzed by fear. Instead, you will approach life with curiosity, courage, and determination, knowing that every misstep is simply another step toward possibility. Life does not hand out miracles, it hands out opportunities. Opportunities to push, to grow, and to transform your limitations into possibilities. The journey is not about waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect skill set. It is about starting where you are, taking one step, then another, and refusing to stop even when the path is steep and uncertain. Your mindset, your small, consistent efforts, your willingness to embrace discomfort, and your ability to learn from failure, these are the tools that turn dreams into reality. Look at yourself today. Are you letting fear, doubt, or comfort define your life? Or are you ready to push yourself to stretch beyond what feels possible and to discover the immense potential that already exists within you? Every great achievement begins with a decision to keep going, to persist, and to believe that everything is possible when you refuse to quit. Remember, the mountain may be high, the challenges may be many, and the journey may be long, but the person who pushes themselves beyond limits, who refuses to settle, will reach heights they once thought were impossible. Take that step today and keep walking, for every step brings you closer to the life you are truly capable of living.